Hey there, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I wanted to use some beautiful tropical blooms that we got in this week. We actually got these in from a company called Budsy, and I am so excited. So they're new to selling tropicals, and we got to place an order for a box, and this is called BEEHIVE Ginger. It's also called torch flower or pineapple ginger, because you can kind of see it has really tight bracts that make up the bloom. The blooms grow on a really large stalk. You can see it's a pretty good stalk. It's really a very heavy flower. It comes from, most often it's grown in Southeast Asia, and it's a perennial, so it comes back every year. The blooms, usually when they bloom, they have really small flowers. The bracts protect the small flowers, and it's hard to see, but they're not very lovely flowers, but they're tiny little flowers that kind of protrude out of those bracts. Now the flowers are really very sweet smelling, so when you pluck them out, they have a really pretty sweet fragrance, almost the fragrance of ginger, really a pretty fragrance. So today I am so excited to use this really fun old container that I had. I picked this up from a thrift store. It has been one of my very favorite containers. I love its color and I love its shape, and I thought we are going to make a very simple arrangement using this BEEHIVE ginger and some tropical foliage. So I am going to take my snips, and the reason I'm using snips is because it's a pretty thick woody stem. I am just going to cut that stem, and I'm going to tuck this ginger right down into this container. I've got lots of stems, so I just thought, there we go. I just thought we would make a really cool arrangement with just this beautiful flower. Now this is the traditional color of this BEEHIVE ginger, kind of this reddish corally color. Look at this one. That is huge, huge. When I was reading the facts on ginger, it said that most often the blooms grow up to 8 inches in length, and so y'all, that looks bigger than 8 inches to me. They're huge. Another thing is they are wonderful flowers for bees and for hummingbirds and for butterflies, because of that really fragrant bloom that they put off, and so it's great for pollinators. But aren't they fun? How fun is this? This is such a cool flower. I'll be honest, I don't think I have ever worked with ginger before. I've worked with some tropicals. We have had in Birds of Paradise, which were so much fun to work with. But I've never worked with this beautiful ginger before. And you can see they're so big and so showy. They're really a pretty cool flower to use in an arrangement. Okay, so I think that's plenty. I think that's plenty of flowers, and they're really heavy, so you'll have to know they're pretty heavy. I wonder if we don't need, there we go. Let's just adjust them. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some different foliages. So the greenery I have today this is called Israeli ruscus. So I thought we would take our Israeli ruscus and we would tuck it in. I didn't want to add the foliage first. I thought that it would be best to add these really heavy blooms and then tuck in a little bit of foliage throughout the arrangement. So you can see how very simple this was, yet it makes quite a statement, right? So neat. Most often when working with tropical blooms, you do not put those on a cooler. And so when we received the box said, do not refrigerate. So I thought that was interesting because, you know, we're so used to adding our flowers to a cooler. So it's very interesting to not put the flowers on the cooler. But they say that they are pretty long-lasting blooms. Okay, next I'm going to come in with some Aurelia. So this is Aurelia. So Aurelia, if you've ever seen it growing, it almost grows in a pot, like a plant. So I'm going to take these Aurelia leaves and we're just going to kind of tuck them low in this container. Now you could take really any bloom and do this exact style of an arrangement using any type of bloom and using all of the same variety. And it really makes such a statement just by sticking with the same variety and the same color, doesn't it? I love this container though. I think it's perfect for these flowers. Turn it around, make sure. Okay, next what we're going to do is we are going to use a little bit of grass. So I have some pretty variegated grass. So this is called lily grass, and lily grass is a large, it is a pretty large blade of grass. Now the wonderful part about lily grass is it doesn't cut you. Now if you're working with grass, you'll work with two different varieties, a bare grass or a lily grass. Now lily grass is the wider of the two blades and it doesn't have that really sharp edge that bare grass has. What I'm going to do is I'm just gathering that lily grass kind of just in a little bunch like that. I'm going to take a little florist wire and I'm just going to wire it all together. It's so much easier to work with when you just bind it together. You don't have to use wire necessarily. You could certainly use a rubber band if you had one. I'm just going to take this lily grass and I am just going to tuck it right down into this vase. Just press it right down into that water and I am just going to let it just kind of flow out. Give us a little bit of movement in that arrangement. I'm going to take the other handful of grass. I'm going to again bind it with a little piece of wire. And I'm just going to tuck it on, do I want it coming out the top? I think so. I'm going to just tuck it kind of coming out the top here. And just let it just give you some whimsy or some movement there. Now the last thing that I have to add is called umbrella palm. It reminds me so much of kind of a little tropical foliage. Now you can see how it looks basically just like a little umbrella, just kind of fun. So fun. It's just different. I'm just going to take it, cut that at an angle, and I'm just going to cut a few of those little stems and just tuck them right into my arrangement. It's just fun to work with, and I thought it was perfect for this tropical arrangement. Now what you're going to do is when you make any arrangement in a container that you can't see through, I want you to be sure to add water to this arrangement daily. You can actually stick your finger right down in the container, see where the water line is. If you can't feel the water line, go ahead and add water to it. It's going to help keep these flowers fresher for longer. But there you go. There is a very simple yet very beautiful arrangement made with these fantastic Beehive ginger. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about this company in particular, please don't hesitate to ask that down in the comments below, or anything we do here at our flower shop, we'd love for you to ask. We're so happy to share. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon and we will see you all real soon. Thank you.